Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Ovcharuk and today I would like to introduce our work. Transformer-based multilabel classification for identifying hidden psychological condition in online posts. With the rise of the digital technologies and social media, user-generated content has become a valuable source for accessing psychological states. This issue are amplified in the digital environment where much emotional expressions occurs online. Traditional diagnostic methods such as clinical interview and questionnaires face limitation in timelines, objectivity, and contextual relevance. Therefore, there is a growing need for automated methods using machine learning and deep learning to analyze digital communications and improve early detection of hidden psychological conditions. Modern multi-class classification system used for detection uh, hidden psychological conditions are limited to identifying only the most pronounced state, uh, disregarding co-occurring conditions. This results in missed opportunities for early intervention and the potential oversight signs of clinical scientific symptoms not aligned with the domination class. To address this limitation, it is advisable to implement a multi-label approach supplement by an ensemble of binary classifiers and carefully constructed a training dataset that account for cross features among psychological conditions, thereby uh, enhancing both the accuracy and clinical relevance of diagnostic outcomes. The main goal of the paper is to create the multi-label classification method for identifying hidden psychological conditions in online posts, which differ from existing ones in the ability to identify several psychological conditions at once and not just the domination one, without losing accuracy compared to multi-class classification. The main contributions of the paper can be summarized as follows. The multi-label classification method for identifying hidden psychological conditions in online posts has been developed. The effectiveness of the developed multi-label classification method for identifying hidden psychological condition has been experimentally proven, which allows, unlike existing ones, to distinguish specific features for each conditions, which is implemented by training a set of neural network transformer on specifically format datasets. The proposed stages of multi-label classification method for identifying hidden psychological conditions in online posts are shown in this figure. The method transform the input data, a user-generated text, and set of context-aware transformer models with tokenizer into output information identification the percentage likelihood of each of five psychological conditions being presented in the analyzed content. At stage 1, the text is tokenized for analysis by each tokenizer with empty T set for conversion into a vector representation. At stage 2, the text tokenizer by each tokenizer with MTT set is analyzed by the corresponding neural network model with MT set. The result of these stages is assumed from 0 to 1 of the strengths of manifestation of each of the studied mental disorder. Stage 3 is responsible for forming conclusions about the presence of each uh, of the five study types of hidden psychological condition with their numerical measures of manifestations. Dataset formation scheme are shown in this figure. To form the training dataset, the depression radius dataset cleaned and COMSIS T1 dataset were used. To prevent confusion of psychological conditions with each other and taking into account that in one text there may be a manifestation of other disorders. Records in the control category are formed according to certain rules. The number of posts in the control category corresponds to or approaches the target error no more than 10 posts. The control category consists of equals proportion of the remaining text with other type of psychological conditions and texts that do not contain such manifestation or contains them to a very small extent, up to 0.3 and on a scale from 0 to 1. Regarding the result obtained with multi-class classification, the following result were obtained by macrometric accuracy 0.854, precision 0.867, recall 0.854, F1 score 0.854. As for the metrics for each class, which characterizes the presence of hidden psychological conditions, their values are given in tables that presented to this slide. The number of sample for analysis is 157. Experiment to train the transformer models set and tokenizer set for each of 5 types of hidden psychological conditions. The parameter of the neural network model as follows. Batch size 16 epoch 5, learning rate 2e minus 5. Matrix of binary models from transformer models set show in this in table on this slide. The confusion matrix of the binary classifiers are shown for the following classes: narcissistic conditions, panic conditions, anxiety conditions, depression, and anger intermediate explosive conditions. By using the binary approach, it was possible to increase the identification of anger intermediate explosive condition by precision matrix by 25.4%, by recall matrix 0.4%, and by F1 score matrix by 15.5%. The identification of depression by the precision metric decreased by 1.6%, but by the recall metric increased by 10.5%, and by the F1 score metric increased by 4.1%. For the class narcissistic conditions, precision increased by 2.6%, F1 score increased by 0.4%, however, recall decreased by 1.8%. For the class panic disorder, it was possible to achieve an increase in the values of the matrix as follows: precision increased by 6%, recall by 19%, and F1 score increased by 13%. For the class anxiety conditions, improvement was not achieved. The multi-label classification method for identifying hidden psychological conditions in online post was proposed, which perform automatic classification of text user content for identifying hidden psychological conditions by their features. The created method allows to obtain in the models and improved ability to distinguish specific features for each type of psychological conditions. due to training on modified sets of text data, which reduce the probability of confusions between conditions, since the model learns to distinguish their characteristic features. The developed method provides an average value 19 to 0.3% of F1 metric for multi-label classification of hidden psychological conditions, while existing analogues provide an average value 16 for 0.5% of the F1 matrix for multi-class classification. The minimum F1 matrix value for the developed method is 18.4% for the depression hidden psychological conditions. Further research will be aimed at expanding the training datasets and studying other type of psychological condition in addition to the five considered, and at improving the metrics for the considered hidden psychological conditions. Thank you for your attention.